Today's class we will try to cover inheritance concept. Sorry, constructors concept. Right. So, how many of you know what is a constructor? So, what is a constructor first? Right. So, what is a constructor? Right. Then, what is the purpose of constructor? So, when it will be called? So, how to call the constructors? So, I am not writing the points. So, we will discuss one by one. Right. First, what is a constructor? Right. So, maybe I discussed this one also. So, constructor means it's a method. Constructor is a method, but some specialty is there. So what is the specialty? It contains the class name as a method name. Contains the class name as a method name, and it does not return anything. You are not supposed to write void also. So constructor is a special method which is having same name of class name and which does not return anything including void. You are not supposed to write void also. If you write void, that will consider as a method only. Compiler will treat it as a method only. Right. So how to write a constructor, we will see now. So take one class, ABC1 class. You can take any name. So actually file name is ABC1. That's why I'm writing ABC1. So this is your class. So inside this class, if you want to write the constructor, that means that's a method. How to write a method? You can give some name. So actually you can give some name. So in this way you can write the method. So method must contain some return type. But we are trying to write a constructor. So in this case, what is the property? The method name must be the class name. Okay, I'm copying the class name. I'm replacing the method name. So method name must be the class name, and a method should not return anything, including void. That means you are not supposed to write void also. Right. So this is called constructor. So how to write a constructor? Just simply you need to write a method with a class name, and the method should not return anything including void. Sorry. Including void. So how many constructors we can write inside a class? So if you compile this program, you don't face any error. So I'm just compiling it. Java C ABC 1.java. You compiled it, right? You are not getting any error. That is valid. So you are not supposed to execute here now. Why? Because you don't have main method. Yeah. Now we are trying to add. Now we are trying to add one more method. Right. So one more constructor. Is it possible to add one more constructor? Is it possible to add one more constructor? Yes. You can write any number of constructors in your class. You can write any number of constructors in your class, but there is a condition. So parameters must be different. That means here you don't have parameters. Here you don't have parameters. So you are not supposed to take exactly same constructor. So that means suppose if you take normal example in a class, if you declare a variable x and if you are trying to declare a variable x, what will happen? The compiler will throw error saying that x variable is already declared. So in the same way, the constructor is already there without parameters. Then this is called default constructor. So already one default constructor is there. You are not supposed to take one more default constructor. You can take any number of constructors, but there is a difference in parameters. Either number of parameters or data type of parameters must be different. Right. So if you try to compile this program by taking two constructors, what will happen? So you will get compile time error saying that already defined, right? ABC already defined in ABC1. So that means constructor is already defined. So please change the constructor parameters if required. So I'm trying to add. So parameters means parameters. How to add the parameters? Just how you will declare a variable. How to declare a variable in this way, right? So in that way you can declare the variable here. That's it. Integer sum x. Okay. Don't end with semicolon, right? If you have multiple parameters, then you can separate with commas. Comma data type variable. Comma data type variable. Like that you can add. So now try to compile the code. Try to compile the program. Did you save that? Yes, saved it. So compile it. You are not facing any error. So can I add one more constructor? Copy paste. Okay. Suppose here how many parameters are there? Only one parameter. Here one parameter. If you compile this, you will get compile time error. Suppose if I am changing the data type, what will happen? I am changing the data type here. So default constructor, parameterized constructor, parameterized constructor. Here how many parameters are there? One parameter. Here also one parameter. But what is the difference? Here integer data type, here byte data type. So there is a difference in data type of the parameters. Okay. So try to compile it. Is this valid or not? First we will check is this valid or not. So compiling the code, it's compiled successfully. That means you can take a single parameter with different data types, that is valid. Right. So now we will try one more, right? So byte some integer. So is this valid or not? Yes, valid. So default constructor, parameterized constructor with a single parameter integer type, single parameter byte type. Here you have double parameter, two parameters with a different types, or you can take same type also, no problem. Same type also, no problem. So this is also valid, right? So can you construct array here? Array? Can you construct array? No problem. This is also data type variable. So all these are valid. So I am showing just what are the parameters you can write, right? So can we add anything else, right? Suppose can I add a string? Can I add a string? String means this is not a primitive type. String. This is not a primitive type. This is a predefined class. Yeah, java.lang package predefined class. Somebody join. Okay, no problem, right? So if you compile this program, no, sorry, spelling mistake. String. String. Yeah, compiled successfully. Right. So here you can take any data, that is up to you. Can I take ABC from Y? So what is this ABC? ABC is a predefined class. Sorry, predefined class. That is not predefined, user defined class. I created this one, ABC class. So this is available in same package, daily classes package. So I can use it, no problem. So try to compile it. So try to compile it. You don't get any compile time error. So in these ways you can write the constructor. Okay. So by seeing this one, what you understood, you have two types of constructors. One is default constructor without having parameters. Second one is parameters constructor. So how many number of parameters, that is up to you. You can pass any number of parameters. So constructors are two types: default constructor and parameters constructor. Default constructor means without parameters. Parameters constructor means with parameter. Right. So first, what is a constructor? Constructor is a special method which is having same name of class name. See here, all these are constructors. So ABC1, 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 that is a class name. Right. So constructor does not having any return type. That is a fundamental rule. So if you write void return type, so that is not considered as a constructor. So that will be treated as a method only, not a constructor. You are not supposed to write a return type including void. So this is over. So now when the constructor will be called, second point. So if you want to call the constructor, in that class or somewhere in any class, you must create the object for this class. So if you create the object, then only constructor will be called and executed. Otherwise it won't call. Okay. So to call the constructor, what is the fundamental rule? You must create the object. Without creating the object, constructor will not call. Right. So how to create the object, you already know. So I will write the code. So for creating the object, so this line is enough. But for executing of this line, we require main method. Who will call the actually execution process will start from main method. That's why you must require a main method in your class. Inside the main method, you can use this statement. Right. So I'm writing the main method, public static void main method. So you can take string dot 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 x. So this is also valid. I already shown you at the time of main method explanation. So what is this? This is called varargs type. In place of single dimensional array, you can apply varargs type, no problem. So I already told you, instead of public static, you can apply static public also, no problem. So I covered all these points. So after this, so inside the main method, I am writing only one line. So that is creating object. I am not assigning to reference. That means left side part is not there, only right side part is there. So right side part, what I am doing, I am just creating an object for which class? ABC class, ABC1 class. So if you create an object, what will happen? So it will call the constructor and it will execute it. That is one step. But internally, when you create the object, so it will identify the instance members from top to bottom in the class. First step. Whenever you are creating the object, so the JVM will identify the instance members from top to bottom in this class. If it is having super class, so that is another scenario I will explain later. So whenever you are creating the object, it will identify the instance members from top to bottom. That is one step. In second step, for the instance variables, if the programmer is assigned any value, those will be updated in the second step. The second step, instance variables will be updated with the programmer assigned values. Then in that process, if there is any instance blocks, the instance blocks will be executed. After the instance blocks execution is completed from top to bottom, at last step the constructor will be called and executed. So whenever you created the object, it will not immediately call the constructor, but backend some steps are there. So in those steps, instance block execution is also one part. So yesterday someone asked, if we write instance block and constructors, so which one will get highest priority? So in that case, you will get instance block will get highest priority. Before the constructor execution, instance block will be executed. Right. So now we will try to observe either constructor is calling or not. Default constructor. So you created object. So if you want to debug this code, just copy paste this code here. You can easily understand. Okay, one time you will just compile here, no problem. So compile successfully. Try to execute it. For executing, main method is required. In our class, main method is already there. Okay, so main method you return static public string varargs parameter. I am not using single dimensional array here. I am applying varargs parameter. Right. That is also valid. Execute. So executed, default constructor is the output. Now if you want to debug this code, just copy paste the code here. Copy pasted. So constructor means that must be class name. And create object creation means you must use the class name. Right. Over. So inside the main method, I am keeping the debug point here also. Then I am putting the debug point here, right? See, if I am trying to execute, what will happen? So save the file, saved it. So try to debug it. So if you are trying to debug it, first the cursor will goes to main method, then it will execute this line. Okay, it will execute this line. If required, you can write one SOP statement also here. 6 out main method. Okay, so it will call this line. So whenever you create an object, so that time at backend identification of instance members from top to bottom and assigning the values of instance members and execution of instance blocks simultaneously. After that, constructor call will be there, right? So now I am debugging it. Save the file, debug Java application, right? So it came to directly main method, right? So inside the main method, first line is this one, right? So if I am pressing F8, so cursor will goes to constructor. Okay, why? Because we don't have any instance variables, instance blocks in this program. So pressing F8, press F8, so it's called the constructor. Okay, method call, right? Constructor call, and it will print this line. It's printed. So inside the constructor, nothing is there to execute. So what will happen? Who called this constructor? This line is called. So once that work is completed, the cursor will come back to this line. Okay. So inside the main method, it is creating object. It's creating object means it will call the constructor. So constructor is executing. Once the constructor is completed, so task is completed, the cursor will come back. If there are any remaining lines of code, the remaining lines of code will be executed. Right. So I'm pressing F8. In the console, it will print the default constructor as output. It's printed. So actually cursor has to come back here. It came back, but we didn't put the debug point. So that's why we didn't observe it. So if you have doubt, you just run one more time. Debug as. So first line, it will goes to constructor statement is printed, cursor came back here, and this line will be executed. You will get the output as main method. Right. So after that line, you don't have any statements to execute, so it got terminated. Right. So this is default constructor process. Right. Default constructor process. Suppose you have to listen carefully. Suppose in your program you don't have a constructor, you don't have default constructor. Okay, in your program you don't have default constructor. Suppose if you are creating a object, then what will happen? You are creating object. Whenever you are created the object, what it has to do? It has to execute. That means all the steps: identification of instance members from top to bottom, right? Assigning the instance variable values and execution of instance blocks. Then constructor call. Okay, so instance members are not there, instance blocks are not there, constructor is also not there. So if you create an object, constructor has to call. So constructor is not there, what will happen? Constructor is not there, either you will get any error. In our program we don't have a constructor, so if you are trying to compile it, are you facing any error? We are not getting any error. Okay, we are not getting any error, it is compiled successfully. Right. If you are trying to execute it, so you don't get any error also. Okay, if you want, I will write the SOP statement. Instead of writing, I am just copy pasting right here. Right. So I am trying to show you, after this line is executed, this line will be completed. Right. So compiling the code once again, compiled it. So try to execute it. I am getting the output as a main method. That means this line is executed. This line is executing means this line must be executed. So when this line is executed, so it has to call the constructor, default constructor. How it will know default constructor? Whenever you are creating the object, here if you are not passing any parameters, that means it will call the default constructor. Okay, but in your program you don't have default constructor. In this case, what will happen? So whenever you are compiling the program, what the Java compiler will do? In your program, in your class, is there any constructor is there or not? First it will verify. Okay. So in your program, in your class, so is there any constructor or not? Either it is a default constructor or it is a parameters constructor. Constructor is there or not important. If the constructor is there, then compiler will not do anything. That means it will not any default constructor. If the constructor is not added by the programmer, either that is a default or parameterized. If the constructor is not added by the programmer, then Java compiler will add a default constructor to your program. Okay, so in this case, you don't have a constructor. That is not a parameterized constructor, that is not a default constructor. So you don't have anything. So in this case, what the compiler will do? Compiler will add a default constructor for this. So we'll check. So default constructor is adding or not. So how to check? Very simple. So you can apply Java P command. Java P. Okay. Before that, you need to compile it. Okay. Before that, you need to compile it. So I will go to that location and I will try to delete whatever the files are there. Whatever the dot class files are there, I will delete it. Where is it? There. So okay, abc.abc.1 class is there. Daily classes. Yeah. We're working on. So I will remove these files, class files. Right, 3 class files I am deleted. Right, abc1.file we are working on it. abc1.file. So now I am trying to compile it. So first compile the program. Java C abc1.java. So it will generate the dot class file here. So it's got generated, right? abc1.class file. Now verify in this bytecode, is there any constructor or not? So how to verify? If you drag and drop here, if you are trying to verify, you cannot read the content. It is not proper. So how to read the content? What is there inside this bytecode? So if you want outlook, so what outlook means, so what is the content is there, not exactly what is there inside. So it will shows the outlook. That means what are the methods are there, what are the constructors are there. If you want to see, you can apply a command, that is Java P command. You can apply Java P command by passing, right, class name. What is that? abc1, right? So Java P, it's not Java C, it's not Java P. So I'm hitting the enter. So it is showing outline of your class. So your class name is class abc1. This is your class. So inside your class, you return this method, static public void string varargs. Then, so inside what is there, it is not displaying. So what is the method name is there, it is displaying, that is outline. So it is displaying the method name as it is, whatever you are written. If you have doubt, you can add some extra also, no problem, like a final keyword, synchronize keyword, like native FP keyword. So whatever is possible, you can add here. So to see the changes, right? So this is the programmer added. Then who added this one? ABC1 open close. Who added this one? The programmer is not added, the compiler was added. So what the compiler will do, it will verify is there any constructor in your program. Constructor is not there, so it will add a default constructor. If the constructor is there, it won't add. See, I will remove the file and I will add a constructor. I will verify it will add or not. So I'm adding a constructor now, ABC1. This time I will add integer parameter. Right. So this is a constructor. What I will do, I will remove the dot class file. I removed it. If you don't remove, not a problem. That will override. Whenever you compiled it, that will override the file. Right. So in this case, I am compiling the. I am not clearing the screen. Just I will compile it. Compile. So what is the problem? New keyword ABC1. See, what is the problem? Can anyone tell what is the problem? So actually, in this class, you have a constructor with a parameterized constructor. You have parameters constructor is there. But whenever you are creating the object, you don't have parameters. So you are trying to call default constructor, but default constructor is not there in your code. So you are trying to call default constructor. Default constructor is not there in your code. That's why you are getting the error. So try to pass 10 value here, some integer number. You don't get any error. Compiled, no errors. Now observe Java P ABC1. So what I'm trying to see, what is there inside the byte class outlook. Right. See, observe here. In earlier case, it was added a default constructor without having parameters. It was generated a constructor. Who generated this? The compiler generated it. So in this case, ABC1. So only one constructor is there. The constructor is written by the programmer, not added by the Java compiler. So why? Because already programmer is given the constructor by single parameter. So same constructor it is maintaining. Right. It is maintaining the same constructor. Right. So by this, so what I'm trying to say, so if you don't have a constructor, in your program, so Java compiler will add the default constructor. If you have a constructor, either that is a parameterized or default, compiler will not add any constructor to your program. Yeah, that is the point I would like to conclude. Suppose this class is public class. So what kind of constructor it will generate here? If the compiler is generating a constructor, what kind of constructor? That means access level. So with what access level it will generate a constructor? So we'll try to see. Suppose in this case you don't have constructor. So that time what it was generated, when you don't have a constructor, that time it was generated default. So here you don't have any keyword. Okay, default. So that means default constructor it was generated. Why? Your class is default access. Access level means here you don't have public, you don't have private, you don't have protected. So that means this level is default level. If your class is having default level access, so whatever the constructor is adding by the compiler, so that will be default access only. So I hope you are getting the point. So here if your class access level is default, so it will generate a constructor with a default. If class is public, it will generate a constructor with a public. Okay, it will generate a constructor with public. So if you want, you can verify. So I am adding a public here, public, right? So in this case, observe what kind of constructor it will generate. Right. So clear in the screen, Java C ABC 1.java. Right. So you don't have a default parameter constructor. Remove it. Yeah. So compile it. So compiled successfully. You don't have any errors. Now observe what kind of constructor is added by the Java compiler, Java P ABC1. So if you observe, in this case public is there. Okay, public is there. Why public? Why public? So because your class access level is public. So whenever compiler is generating this constructor, so that time whatever the access modifier is there, access specifier is there for your class, it will generate with the same access specifier. Right. Suppose if you are trying to write protected, what will happen? If you are trying to write protected, so what will happen? So is it will generate protected constructor? Is it will generate product constructor? So actually, so if it is compiled successfully, it will generate product constructor. But if it will not it will not compile. So why? Because for outer level classes, you are not supposed to use private or protected access specifier for outer classes. So for this is outer class. So outer class means this is a class. If you are writing one more class inside, then that is called inner class. In that case, this is the outer class. So for the outer class, you are not supposed to write protected private keywords here. You are allowed to write only public, and if you are not writing anything, that is default. Right. So protected and default. Right. So protected and default. Right. So if you try to compile it, you will get compile time error. Compile it. So you are getting compile time error saying that modifier protected is not allowed here. You are not supposed to write protected modifier for the outer classes. So can you try private? So you will get the same error for the outer classes. You are not supposed to write protected and private. Compile the program. So protected modifier is not allowed here. So sorry, private modifier is not allowed here. So outer classes you are not supposed to write that one. So if you want, you can write for inner classes. Suppose inner class is there. If you want, you can write. So class some xyz, right? So for this inner class, you can apply protected. Protected. Right. So this is valid. Right. So compile the program. So you don't get any compile time error. Compiled successfully. Try to check Java P ABC 1.1. So in ABC1 default constructor is added. Then how to check XYZ class? Java P ABC1.xyz. Here. So this is your XYZ class. This is the inner class. That's why you are getting this dollar symbol. So inside this class full name is ABC1, that is outer class. XYZ is inner class. So if you see the constructor, so where is the constructor? This is the constructor here. This is the constructor. So ABC $1 XYZ. So access specifier is protected, right? So for the outer class, it was generated default constructor. For the inner class, it was generated protected constructor. If you want to apply, you can apply private also. Private also, right? So compile the code. So compiling the code, Java C ABC1.java, compiled it. So try to verify for the first class, that is default level. Suppose if you want to apply, you can apply public will be there, public. So now it will generate with public access specifier. So compile the code to reflect the changes, compiled it. So I hope you are getting the point what I am trying to discuss. So for the outer classes, public and default is accepted. Protected private is not allowed. But for the inner classes, you can apply private, public, protected, default. Default means not default keyword. If you are not writing anything, that is default. Right. So in this case, so for outer class, it will generate a constructor with public access specifier. See, public access specifier. Right. So for the inner class, how to verify for inner class? ABC 1 dot xyz. That means to call the inner classes, you are using the dot operator. So we discuss as part of operators, Dot operator also we discussed to call the methods, to call the variables, to call the sub packages, or to call the inner classes. We will use dot operator, right? So now I am verifying for the inner class. So inner class, for the inner class, where is the constructor? Java p xyz xyz final abstract is keyword again. So did we compare properly? Yes. I will check once again. Right. Right, that is a default level. Click. We'll try with public. So first compile it to reflect the changes. Verified public is there. Protected. So verify it. Protected must be there. Protected is there. So try with private. Compile it. Execute it. So where is the private constructor? Final ABC1. This keyword. This creating object references. Okay, I will check and let you know this one also. So but actually private constructor is allowed. You can write the private constructor if you want. You can write the private constructor manually here also, no problem. Private ABC1. So this is also valid. This is valid. Compile this abc1.java. So compile it. Check java p abc1. So you are getting private constructor here. So maybe it is not showing. So whatever the private members are there, those private members are unable to access by the Java P. So that means this is also a program. So this program is unable to access the private members. That's why it is unable to display here. Okay. So this is valid, 100% valid. So why we will write private constructor? Outers are not, if you don't give the permission to create the object for outers, then you can apply private constructor. Okay. So yeah, actually this is exactly the same situation. Private constructor is there. This private constructor is unable to access by the Java P. That means it's software. It's this set of these programs is unable to access this access level. That's why it is not displaying the content. Okay, no problem. Right. So as of now what we discuss, so how to write a constructor, how many number of constructors we can write, so when the constructor will be called, right? So if the constructor is not there, so who will generate the constructor? If the constructor is generating by the compiler, what kind of access level it will provide? Okay, for the outer classes, so what kind of modifier we can apply? For the inner classes, what kind of modifiers we can apply? Okay, if the compiler is generating the constructor, so for class level, what is the access specifier is there, with the same specifier it will generate the constructor. Yeah, we covered these points till now. Any doubts here? Any doubts? No doubts? Right. So can someone please help me? So how to call this constructor? Someone please help me. Shall I create an object? How to create the object? So new keyword, okay. Then ABC1, okay. So can I call like this? Yeah. So here you are not passing any parameter. That means it is trying to call default constructor. In your program, you don't have default constructor, you will get compile time error. So you must pass by value. Right. So can I call like this? Suppose one more constructor, one more constructor is there, integer some y. So how to call this one? How to call this one? Someone please. How to call this one? So using new keyword.
One more new keyword.
Then ABC1.
ABC two parameters pass.
So what we need to pass? First parameter, okay. Second parameter.
Second parameter.
What is the second parameter? Array type means what? How to pass? Open brace, close brace. That's it, huh? Okay, values. Is this valid? Is this valid? So I told you how to construct a anonymous arrays. So you have to go through it. You have to practice it. Sorry. Int. Anyone? So we need to create an anonymous array. You can pass it. Otherwise, you can construct an array here. You can construct a here. You can pass that array reference. No problem. So if you want to pass directly, you need to pass as a anonymous array. So I will tell you how to create both. So you have to practice these. Otherwise, sometimes you maybe face some difficulty. First, create a constructor with single dimensional array equal to new integer some size. Right? Directly you can pass this name, no problem. If you compile it, so you don't get any error. So compile the program, compile successfully, try to call it, nothing will happen. It won't print anything. Why? Because you don't have any statements. So if you run also, you don't get any error. So I'm just simply executing it, no errors. So this is one way. Another way, so you can construct array like this, 10, 20, 30. This is another way. So compile it, you don't face any error. Execute it, you don't face any error. So what is the third way? Anonymous array. So how to pass anonymous array? New keyword, then which kind of data type? Integer type, dimension by following values. Values 10, 20, 30. You can pass any values. Yeah, this is called anonymous array. So compile it, execute it, execute it. If you want to print the values, you can print the values. System.out.println y of 0. I am printing only one value. I am not printing all. So if I am picking y of 0, that means it will print 10. So actually, this anonymous array is passing to this y array, single dimensional array. These values will be stored inside this array. So I am trying to print 0 location. So it will print 10. Compile it, execute it, you are getting 10 as a result. Right? So I hope you know how to call. Suppose in place of this one, so there is a ABC, A is there. Then how to pass? So all these things you must know. Then only you will understand the concepts. So how to create a object now? New ABC1, up to this you know. Then so here integer value is there. You can pass integer value. That's it. Okay. Then here, what is the variable?
Class type.
A. So this is a class type. A class type. So that means what we need to pass here? Here what we need to pass? So you can create an object to ABC class. Right? So you can pass this reference here. Okay. So compile the program. You don't get any compile time errors. All these are important, basic level. Right? So what happened? ABC 1.java cannot find a symbol. So I think it's not saved properly. Compile it. From where it is picking.
SOP statement ఉంది సార్ ఏబిసి 1 దగ్గర.
Right. I can see. Someone is asking something. ఏంటో మళ్ళీ చెప్పండి, మళ్ళీ అడగండి. అర్థం కాలేదా? హలో, నో ప్రాబ్లం. ఇప్పుడు డిస్కస్ చేయడంలో తప్పేం లేదు. ఓకేనా? సో రైట్. సో అంటే మీరనే కాదు, ఎవరైనా సరే డిస్కస్ చేయడం తప్పలేదు. ఇప్పుడు క్లాస్ లెవెల్ నుంచి అది స్టార్ట్ చేసుకోవాలి. ఎందుకంటే రేపు మీరు ఒకవేళ ప్లేస్ అయ్యారు అనుకోండి, ఏ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ కంపెనీలో ఎక్కడో ప్లేస్ అయ్యారు. సో టీంలో 10 మెంబర్స్ 20 మెంబర్స్ ఉంటారు. సో వాళ్ళు ఉన్నప్పుడు మనం ఇక్కడ ఎలాంటి బిహేవియర్గా ఉందామో అలా సేమ్ బిహేవియర్ అక్కడ కూడా కంటిన్యూ అయిపోయింది. సో మనకి తెలుస్తుంటుంది ఆడ ఏం జరుగుతుంది, ఏంది తప్పు ఉందా ఒప్పు ఉందా తెలుస్తుంటుంది, కానీ మనం మాట్లాడం. సో దానివల్ల మనం మన దగ్గర టాలెంట్ ఉన్నా బయటపడలేము. ఓకేనా. సో అది బయటపడడానికి ఎంతో టైం పట్టేది. ఈలోపు ఎవడో ఒకడు వస్తాను అనుకుంటాం. సో కొంచెం మాట్లాడడానికి అలవాటు చేసుకోవాలి, దాంట్లో తప్పేం లేదు. సో తెలియకపోతే నేర్చుకుంటారు, చెప్తారు. ఇదేమంటే వాడికి ప్రాజెక్ట్లో ప్లేస్ అయిన తర్వాత ఏం జరిగింది, సో ఇక్కడ నేర్చుకుంది బీటెక్లో నేర్చుకుందో లేకపోతే కోర్స్లో నేర్చుకుందో డైరెక్ట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్లో ఉండదు. సో ఇక్కడ తెలివిని అక్కడ అప్లై చేయాలి. అక్కడ అప్లై చేయాలంటే అక్కడ మ్యాటర్ ఏంటో మీకు అర్థం కావాలి, అక్కడ కంటెంట్, ప్రాజెక్ట్ రిక్వైర్మెంట్, సో అదంతా మీకు అర్థం కావాలి. అర్థం కావాలంటే ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ మొత్తం గోత్రూ అవ్వాలి. ఆ గోత్రూ అవ్వడానికి ఎంతో టైం పట్టేది. సో అది గోత్రూ అయ్యి అదంతా అర్థం చేసుకోవడానికి చాలా టైం పట్టింది. సో ఎందుకని టీమ్ ఇంటరాక్షన్ ఉండాలి. సో కేటీ నాలెడ్జ్ సెషన్స్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్ చేసేటప్పుడే మీరు నాలెడ్జ్ వాళ్ళ దగ్గర నుంచి మీరు గ్రాస్ప్ చేసుకోగలగాలి. సో మనం బయట కోర్సుకి జాయిన్ అయినట్టు, సో కోర్సులో చెప్పినట్టు టీంలో చెప్పాడు. ఓకేనా. ఎందుకంటే వాడు డిపెండెన్సీ క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంటాడు. సాఫ్ట్వేర్ కంపెనీలు ఏం చేస్తారో వాడు డిపెండెన్సీ క్రియేట్ చేసుకుంటాడు. సో 4-5 వాడి మీద డిపెండ్ అవుతాడు. సో ఆటోమేటిక్గా సో హైయర్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ ఏమనుకుంటాడు, పలానా పర్సన్ లేకపోతే ప్రాజెక్ట్ రన్ అవ్వదు అనుకుంటాడు. సో వాడేం చేస్తాడు, నాలెడ్జ్ షేర్ చేయడు. సో నాలెడ్జ్ షేర్ చేస్తే ఏమైంది, సో ఆటోమేటిక్గా వాడి మీద డిపెండెన్సీ తగ్గిపోయింది. సో వాడు ఎక్కువ చెప్పడు, మిమ్మల్ని నేర్చుకునేడు, డిపెండెన్సీ పెట్టుకుంటాడు. సో మీరు సైలెంట్గా ఉంటే అది ఇంకా ఎక్కువైపోయింది, మేమేం బర్డెన్ పడిపోయింది. సో మాట్లాడటం నేర్చుకోవాలి. రైట్. ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం. సో హియర్ you are creating object, you need to pass this reference here. So why? Because here a variable is of type abc type, so you can pass in this way. So compile the code, compile, you are not getting any error. If you run it, you don't get any errors, right? So instead of passing directly x, that reference, what is x? This value. You just cut this value, you directly pass here. This line is not required. Save, compile it, execute it. Right. So in this way you can pass. Right. As of now, do you have any doubts? Right. So now I will ask one question, you have to answer. Save the code. So if you execute the program, you will get a default and a parameters constructor as output. So that is okay, everyone knows that. Compile the code, execute the code, you are getting default and parameter constructor. Suppose if you write some return type here, what will happen? So return type means maybe any primitive type or class types, user defined or predefined. If you are not returning anything, you can add void here. Suppose void is there, then what will happen?
It is a method.
So it's a method, okay. In this case, either you will get error or not. So why you are getting error? So where you will get error?
We have created object, but we should pass the reference
So we created object here.
by creating
Here, which line number?
15.
Line number 15. You are creating object. You are creating a object. So that means it will call the default constructor. Now probably the call. Start చేశారు. Okay, I am not discussing about you. So that is regarding that WhatsApp message. Okay, so you are creating an object with default. That means you are not passing any constructor, any values here. This is a default constructor. But in your code, is there any default constructor? Default constructor is there. It's not there. So this is a method. It's not a constructor. So in this case, Java compiler will generate a default constructor.
Yes, sir.
So it won't generate actually. So in your program there is a constructor. In your program, yeah, yeah, constructor is there. Either that is a default or parameter constructor. Constructor is there or not, it's there. If it is there, so Java compiler will not add any constructor, default constructor it won't add. So what you are trying to do, you are trying to create a default constructor. So that means you are creating object by default construct, that means without passing parameter. So in this case you don't have a default constructor here and the compiler is not generating anything. So in this case you don't have default constructor. What you will get? Compile it. You are getting error saying that constructor abc1 in class abc cannot be applicable to the given type. So that means this type of constructor is not there. How you will call it? So if you add the constructor, you don't get any error, right? You don't get any error, right? So this is the default. This is the method. This is the method. So compile it, execute it. You are getting default and a parameter constructor, not method. Okay, not method. You are getting this one and this one. Why? Because this is default constructor, this is a parameter constructor. That is okay. Then when this will execute, then this one will execute. So this is not a constructor now. If you want to execute this one, you have to call explicitly. Yeah, you must call through the reference variable. So this is not a normal constructor, this is a method. So this is a method. Methods must be called by the programmer explicitly, otherwise it won't call. But constructor, you no need to call explicitly. Whenever you are creating the object, constructor will be called and executed. No need to call the constructor explicitly. So if it is a method, you must call it explicitly. Okay. So in this case, what I'm trying to say, this is a method. This is not a constructor. So that's why this is not calling. So how to call this method? You must create a reference. So where is the reference? You are not created the reference. If you want, you can create the reference. So I am creating the reference here. Here also you can create, right? ABC1 some x equal. So now x variable is the reference variable of ABC1 class. By using x variable, you can call the methods. How to call the method? X dot reference variable dot. What is your method name? ABC1. Yeah, this is a method name. It's not a constructor now. So why? Because you applied return type here. So return type means it is not returning anything, but you are not supposed to take void also. So this is a normal method. That's why you must call it explicitly. In this way, you will get the output. So now you will get the three statements. Compile it, execute it. You are getting default, parameterized, and method. Right? So I hope you understand. So if a
Sir, if it is a static method, we can call by using class name directly without creating any.
if you have doubts, I already covered these points. Okay, no problem. If it is a static method void something, you can take not only void, you can take return type also. Some x variable is x method, or you can take some any method, m1 method. Add some export statement. So inside it, static method. Static method. So if you want to call this m1 method, you can call directly. You can call directly, no problem. Or you can call by using class name. What is our class name? abc1 dot m1. Or you can call it by reference name. So in these three ways you can call the static method. So directly you can call it. So from where you are calling? Static method. So this is a static method. So that's why you are able to call the m1 method directly. Why? Because m1 is also static. You can call it directly. If it is in the same class, okay. So you can call it by using class name. If it is not in the same class, if it is in another class also. So if you want, you can access through reference also, no problem. In these three ways you can call it. So you will get the output. So three statements as a static method, static method, static method. So compiling and executing, compile, execute, you are getting static, static, static. Right. So can before the static before the constructor, can I apply any other specifiers? So I'm removing everything. I hope you understand the concept. So I removed everything. Nothing is there in the program. So now constructor is there. So before the constructor, what are the modifiers we can apply? Okay, sometimes I will call modifiers, sometimes I will call specifiers. You just consider all these are public, private, protected, static, final, strict, FE, native, all this, volatile, transient. So in all these things, so what kind of the modifier you can apply here? So can you take private? Is this valid or not? Just now we verified private modifier is allowed for the constructor. This is also not required, no problem. Okay, if you keep also no problem. So private is valid. We already compiled it, we verified it. Private is valid, right? So public is valid, we verified. So protected is valid, so we verified, right? So if nothing is there, that is default. So default is valid. So other than these, if you are trying to apply any other modifiers like static, so if you apply this one, so this is not allowed here. Compile, you are getting error. So if you are trying to apply any other, except those public, private, protected, if you are trying to apply any other, so final, you are not getting abstract. So you will get some kind of error. All these are modifiers, you are getting error. Suppose if you apply final, you try with the final, static, and abstract, FE, synchronized. So if you apply any other modifiers, you will get compile time error. Okay. So anyhow, transient and volatile is not applicable here. Those are applicable for variables only, right? So for the constructors, what are the applicable modifiers? Public, private, protected, and default. So default means if you are not writing anything, that is default. So remaining modifiers are not allowed. That means static, final, native, strict FE, abstract, synchronized. So these keywords are not allowed before the constructor, right? So any doubts as of Yeah. So you have to answer me now. So I will ask some questions. So please answer. Wait. Suppose if a class is written like this, so what will happen at the back end? So you have to answer. Everybody, please try. So from your end, you no need to answer. You just try from your end. So if a class is like this, so if you compile the program, so what it will generate at the back end? So what the compiler will add? Either it will add default constructor or not. So in this case, you don't have any constructors. In this case, you don't have any constructor. So what the compiler will do? Class test. So inside this, it will add a default constructor, right? Am I right? So it will add a default constructor, right? So with a test. Right. So in this case, what will happen? Please try. So in this case, what will happen? Suppose here public is there. So in this case, what will happen? So here it will generate constructor. So this code is generating by the compiler, not the programmer. Okay. Public. Here public is there. I forgot to write. Right. Right. So next case. Suppose the class is like this. Everyone please try from your end. So in this case, what will happen? Consider this is a class test void test. So in this case, what will happen? It will add by tab. It won't work. It is not working. What it will do? It will add a default constructor. So void test is normal method. So that's why it is adding default constructor. Right. I hope you are getting the point what I am writing here. So suppose if you write a code like this, if you write a code like this, after compilation, the compiler will generate like this. So if you write the code like this, it will generate a constructor like this. So if you write the code with method, so you don't have constructor, it will add a default constructor. Sorry, it will add a default constructor here, like this. So these are the different scenarios. I will try with some other if you are interested. Right. So actually, inside the constructor, every constructor, so there is a super keyword is there. Okay, inside the constructor, what will happen? Super keyword is there. To understand this, so just I will write one program. So yeah, try to follow me. So I have a class. Some XYZ class is there. Right. So this is another class. So I hope you know how to create a parent-child relationship, inheritance concept. Right. So inheritance concept means, so you are creating a child for XYZ class in this scenario. So this is a parent class. Consider this is a parent class and this is a child class. How to make the relation? By using extends keyword. Extends, you write the parent class name. Which class you want to make it as a parent. That's it. So in this case, what will happen? So if you compile this program, for XYZ, it will generate default constructor. For ABC1, it will generate default constructor. Right? So we will see it will generate or not. Actually, it will generate. Okay, no problem. Suppose if the programmer is written XYZ is written XYZ, and here also he written ABC1, right? So I'm adding the main method also. Let's see. Right. So in this, if I call it ABC1, so what is the output? So I'm adding one SOP statement here. This is very important. Please try to concentrate. Class constructor, subclass constructor. So simple. Try to understand what I written. So I took one class. The class name is XYZ. In that class, there is a default constructor. So in that constructor, one SOP statement is to print superclass constructor. Right. So then I created one class ABC1 class. So I make this class as a subclass of which class? XYZ class. By using which keyword? Extends keyword. So that means here there is a relation between ABC1 and XYZ class. ABC1 is the child class and XYZ is the super class. That means parent class. Right. So in this case, in parent class constructor is there, child class also constructor is there. This is default and this is also default. So what I did in child class, I have a main method. So from the main method, I am trying to create an object. If I am trying to create an object, what will be the output? Here, what will be the output? If you create an object, what will happen? It will identify the instance members and it will execute the instance blocks, then it will call the constructor, right? So that the steps I explained. So in this case, what is the output? Anyone? So in this case, what is the output? Yeah, tell me.
Superclass constructors.
Yeah, superclass constructor. That's it.
Both, sir.
Both. Yeah, both. How you will get both?
Since ABC1 is a child,
XYZ is parent, it extends that, so both will fit.
Okay. So what is happening internally? We need to understand, right? So in this case, you will get both. First, which one will be printed? Either subclass or superclass. So if you execute this program, so you are telling you will get both outputs, subclass constructor and superclass constructor. So what is the order? First subclass will be there, then superclass will be there, or superclass will be there, then subclass will be there. So first subclass, then superclass. Antena? Right. So here you need to understand the concept. So please try to concentrate. This is very important. If you are unable to understand in this class, so we will continue in the next class also, no problem. Right. So if you execute the program, so you will get the output superclass constructor first, then subclass constructor next. So compile the code, clearing the screen, compile it. So I saved with abc1.java. Try to execute it. abc1. You are getting first superclass constructor, then subclass constructor. So what will happen in this case? So whenever you are creating the object, so what will happen? So first it is trying to identify the instance members from top to bottom. Top to bottom is not in the ABC1 class. It will not start from ABC1 class. It will starts from who is the superclass for ABC1 class? XYZ class. Then who is the superclass for XYZ class? Object class. So it will start the identification of instance members from top to bottom, from parent to child classes. Okay. So here you have first level is object class, then XYZ class, then ABC1 class. You have three levels here. So first one is object class, and second one is XYZ class, ABC class, XYZ, then ABC1 class. So what you are trying to do, you are trying to create an object here. Now new ABC1. So if you are trying to create the object here, so what is happening? It won't create only memory for the ABC1 class. So it will create the memory for who is the superclass for this class? XYZ class. That means when you created the object, it will allocate the memory for XYZ also. Not only for XYZ, who is the superclass for XYZ class? Object class. For object class also memory will be allocated. Okay. So when you create the object for child class, so for its superclasses also memory will be allocated. Okay. So this is called, okay, we will discuss that one later, no problem. So whenever you are creating the child class object, memory will be allocated for its super classes also. Right. So when the memory is allocating, it will try to identify the instance members from top to bottom, from parent to child classes, not only in the same class, from parent to child class, right? It will try to identify the instance members. That means, so here object class is there, object class instance members, then xyz class instance members and abc class instance members will be identified. In the second step, so it is trying to assign the values of object class values. Then if there is any instance blocks, it will be executed from top to bottom, from parent to child. It will execution process from parent to child. So if there are any instance blocks of object class, those will be executed. If there are any instance blocks in xyz class, those will be executed. Then if there are any instance blocks in abc class, it will be executed. After that, so it will goes to superclass constructor. Superclass constructor will be executed. If there is a superclass constructor in object class, that will be executed. If there are any SOP statements, those will be printed. Once this is completed, it will comes to this superclass, not super to superclass constructor will be executed. Then this constructor will be executed. So this is the process. This is the way execution process. But how this is happening, who is calling superclass, who is creating object for xyz class, who is creating object for object class, so that is important. So you are creating, you are allocating memory, that is okay, but who is calling the superclass, right? So from here there must be a call from child to parent. From child to parent there must be a call. So how the call will happen? So in this way it will happen. So when you are compiling the program, suppose if you write a class like this, class testing, if you write a class like this, class testing, so inside this there is a method, some method is there, some test constructor is there, some constructor is there. If you write like this, if you write the code like this, right? So if you write the code like this, so what kind of code the compiler will generate? What kind of code compiler will generate? Class test, then open brace and close brace. So in between constructor is there. So inside the constructor it will add one line of code. Okay. If you are not adding the constructor, it will add the constructor. If you added the constructor, if you add the constructor, it will maintain the constructor. Inside the constructor, it will add one statement inside the constructor. So what is the statement? It will add super, like this. So if you are using the super keyword like this, that means you are creating object for super class. Okay. So in super class, you are creating the object for super class. That means super class memory will be allocated. And in that superclass, if there is a constructor, from that superclass constructor, there is a call to superclass constructor. Okay. If you are unable to understand, no problem. We will discuss in next class. Right. So I am trying to end the session. So because I have some work, I need to, maybe project whatever is there. So I need to involve in that. Okay. So I will end the session. If you have